Now we're going to introduce Mr. Jedd Johnson. Jedd is a national grip champion, a strongman champion, known by his peers as the Monster of MASH. Guestberg started his athletic career right here in Towanda, Pennsylvania. He played baseball on this very field. He was a powerful right-hand hitter, known for his long stretch on first base and digging a ball out of the dirt, and a commanding fastball pitcher. He continued his pitching career at Mansfield University before taking on strength training as his main interest. Jedd is a certified strength and conditioning specialist. Jedd and his friend Smitty formed the Diesel Crew and began formulating the Diesel Method, a strength and conditioning system. The Diesel Crew is now recognized as the leaders in grip strength. This man can bend a nail with his bare hand and can tear a large city phone book in half. So listen up to what he has to say. Jedd Johnson.
Thanks for that nice introduction, Bob. By the way, before you go today, before I leave, I got a couple of nice grippers here I want you to try out since I finally cornered you somewhere without you being able to run away. Thank you for having me here today, everybody. Tell you what, I'm getting some chills here being out on this field. It's been like 20 years since I've been on this field, so I got to loosen up a little bit with a couple woos. Who wants to hit a woo with me? How about one more? How about one more? Let's hear it. The whole town will hear it. All right. So, Little League and directors, and everybody that's like in charge of the Little League, thank you for having me here today. This is quite an honor. Also, coaches, parents, and I know there's tons of volunteers that put in a ton of time here. I want to say thank you because you guys are very special people. Without you, this kind of thing cannot take place. The field looks absolutely amazing. It's going to be a great season, I can tell right now. Just to give you guys a little recognition, I'd like to have a round of applause for all the coaches, the parents, the volunteers, and people that run the league. There's going to be a lot of memories made this season, and baseball is about a lot of things, and one of them is making those memories. And now I want to tell you about one of my biggest memories from playing baseball as a youngster. And actually, I lived in Durrell, which is like, I don't know, 10, 20, 50 miles away. I don't even know how far it is anymore. But you couldn't just walk across the road and come play at the field. So I did most of my practicing right in the backyard, along with Davey, who was there a few times too, right? So, I'm going to tell you the story about my first home run. So when I was just a little kid, my dad went out and built a mound, he put a home plate and a backstop in the yard, and for about the first season, that was positioned in just the right spot. There was no way I was going to reach the house because I could barely even hit the ball anyway. So I was lucky to even make contact. But the next year I got a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, wasn't quite as afraid of the ball. And I started to kind of spray the ball around the yard, and every once in a while it would come kind of close to the house. So my dad got a hold of these old metal, like rusty screens. I don't know what pit in the ground he dug these from, but he went ahead and he put those over the windows because he was afraid I was going to break some of those windows. And they did their job. They paid for themselves, if he even paid any money for these old rusty things anyway, I don't even know. But they protected the windows. Now, what he did is he covered all the windows that were on the first story, okay? There was one window up top that he left open because you can't really climb a 20-foot ladder, hold a screen in one hand and then hang it. It's covered in dirt and rust. I mean, these things were ugly. So he kind of just left that one open. So, I don't know, it might have been the next year or something like that. I'm down there taking batting practice, and my uncle drives down the driveway. And this is like the first time, the only time I even remember that someone actually came and visited while we were doing practice. So he comes down, and he's like, hey, let me throw a few pitches, Jug. My dad's name is Jug. And he started throwing them in there. And I remember he had a much different mechanics than my dad. He was much more over the top, and I could see the ball a little bit better. So I kind of dug in there, and I took a nice cut at one of those pitches, and bam! It flew off the bat. And I was like, wow, look at that thing go. And sure enough, smash! Right through that one unprotected window in the upstairs of my house. Now, you would think that most parents would get pretty upset when that happened, but my dad was actually pretty happy for me. This thing was pretty far up there, and who knows, it might have been able to go out of a field this big. So I actually ran up and gave my dad a hug, and it was like a big celebration. So that was my first home run. Oh, thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Now, baseball is also about hard work. And I can tell you that the harder that you practice, the more time that you put in, the more effort you put towards learning, the better of a player you're going to be. Whether you're a fielder, a pitcher, catcher, just hit the ball, whatever, you're going to get better the more work that you put in. And it's not just, the benefits you see don't just come from, don't just appear in play. Once you get used to doing that hard work, it's going to pay off in other aspects of your life. School, later on when you have a job, when you get married, things like this. The more, when you're used to putting in extra effort, extra hours when you're a kid, it's going to become part of you. And I encourage all of you, every time you're at practice, every time you go to school, every time you have homework, or if you're doing a summer job, make sure that you work hard. It's very important. Working hard, those extra hours when I was a kid, is what enabled me to be a good player later on in high school. I was lucky enough my senior year to get Athlete of the Year, and my dad came up to me afterwards and he said, hey, congratulations, Bub. And I said, well, thank you, because it was because of all that hard work that we did so many years before that I was able to do it. I could not have done it without my dad. Baseball is also about family, obviously, and it takes two. And my mom, even though she wasn't down there throwing batting practice and catching balls and things like that, she was getting our clothes around, getting our meals around, packing food to go on weekend tournaments, dropping us off, picking us up. I'm saying us because I have a sister also. She was just as active in sports as I was. My mom had to get her everywhere. And you know what? After all the effort that she put in, I don't know if I've ever said thank you to her. And I don't know if she's here right now, but if you are, Mom, I just want to say thank you for everything that you did when we were growing up. So thank you very much, Mom. All right, just three more things before I go. Now we're going to talk about baseball for real. Hitters, who's going to hit the ball today? Everybody should be raising their hands. Check this out. I want you guys, every time you're up this season, to attack each at bat. Don't get cheated. Go up there and get your pitch. It's just like anything else in life. You want to attack it. You want to go after it and be the absolute best that you can. Who's the pitchers? Who are the pitchers here? Stick your hand up. All right, this is what I want you to think about. I want you to get ahead. Get ahead on that batter as much as you can. Get that first pitch over. I don't know what the exact stats are here, but if you get the first pitch over as a strike, it dramatically reduces the batting average for the hitter. Get ahead of them. You don't want to start behind. Just like in school, you want to get in there, get your work started, your homework done. Don't wait till the last minute because you're going to put too much pressure on yourself to get it done and get a good job. And then all my fielders and catchers, fielders and catchers, all right? Like my dad always told me, you want to anticipate. Always have your head in the game. Know what you're going to do with the ball when it comes to you. It's all about staying focused, thinking ahead, and being confident with life. Now, the last thing that I'm going to say before we get to the pledge is, I'm going to ask every single one of you players to do something that I wish I would have done when I was a youngster. And whether it's right now, this second, or later on, before the day's over, I want you to go up to your mom, your dad, both of them, whoever it is, and make sure you give them a big old hug and you say thank you for everything that they do for you. Okay? Is that a deal? Yeah. Well, I didn't hear some people. Is that a deal? Yeah. All right. Awesome. Let's get ready and go now and play some ball here. Shall we do the pledge? All right, if I could have all the players and coaches please repeat after me. I trust in God. I love my country. And will respect its laws. I will play fair. And strive to win. But win or lose, I will always do my best. Thank you once again for having me, everybody. And Bob, I'll see you later.
Thank you, Jedd. For those of you guys that don't know, I mean, some interesting facts about Jedd. We actually went ice fishing before, and the only reason I took him is his arms are so big that I just sat there and fished. He drilled all the holes. He had nothing better to do. And the only reason he rips phone books, who uses them anymore? I mean, come on, Jedd, rip a phone or something. All kidding aside, this guy's pretty amazing. He will be ripping some phone books, bending a nail, juggling a kettlebell, a sledgehammer, or levering a sledgehammer. And where are you going to be at? He's going to be down on the road, and if you want to see him perform, just stop down there.